So it is no secret that AI is coming for everybody's job at this point. It's just a matter of time of when an AI or automation can come and take over. But it seems like we're getting closer and closer every single day that goes on. And that triggered biggest or most costly strikes to happen with the longshoremen, these port workers, where they decided that enough was enough and they went on strike. I think because some of the reason in there was they didn't want automation, and apparently the company already agreed to their previous contract not to automate, but also started automating. So obviously they can be upset about that. And the reason this is one of the most impactful strikes is this right here, that this dock strike expected to cost the US economy up to $5 billion a day in lost trade and sharply raised prices for consumer goods. So this whole inflation stuff, where inflation's under control and everything's all great, would be at stake, right? Because if prices rise, that means inflation goes up, everything gets more expensive. And honestly, I don't know if it was because of this news or more storms and hurricanes, but people have been going crazy buying everything, and toilet paper is the number one thing yet again. For some reason, everybody wants to make sure they have enough toilet paper to make it through, uh, I guess, this port strike or another storm. It's kind of weird that everyone goes to toilet paper, but this strike, it was the first here. This is the leader, or the union head for this longshoreman guys, saying they can't survive too long, and he said he would shut down the ports, is playing hardball. So obviously this union, they'd say if they shut down, the port shut down, it's extremely costly. Now there is some stuff with this guy where it's a little weird, right? So obviously both parts of this exchange, the union and the company, are going to present their own facts and what they want you to think, right? So you can't take either side. You got to take both of them, try and come together, and we'll never actually know like a non-biased approach to this. But what we do know is this guy is filthy rich, right? I think he makes close to like $1 million a year. He goes crazy. He just sold a yacht. He's got like 5-car garage and 5 Bentleys and a mansion and stuff. So he's living large. And it was said that he turned down a 50% pay raise, saying it wasn't enough. So I think most people hear that and say, I didn't get a 50% pay raise. What are you crying about? And you saw a lot of that sentiment on Twitter, where people were just like, these people are shutting down the economy. They're costing me money because I can't get supplies to do this stuff. They're costing me my job to not be able to go out and do stuff and put food on the table. So people got riled up. But obviously that'd be part of the company would put that stuff out to get people on their side. And these guys would put out like the company broke their contract. They automated when they weren't supposed to. But both sides are going to put their own propaganda out, kind of. And the one that's going to hit harder is the one where people can relate to, where they see this guy rich and living a life that none of them do, and then say he turned down 50%. That's ludicrous. Like this guy's risking my job because he wants more and more money, even though he's rich. I could see both people, like both sides propagandize. I could see why people would be mad on both sides. So we're just never going to get a non-biased view. We're going to always get the bias of whoever's presenting it as facts. But this strike happened, or was reported on the 1st here. And by the 3rd, so just 2 days later, they came to an agreement. And they decided that their wages are going to go up 62%. So, I mean, I guess good for them. 62% is insane. Uh, the only thing that, like, think about this is if labor cost is one of the most expensive things to a company, and if that's going up 62%, that means it's probably going to get passed down to us and consumers. So everything's going to get more expensive anyways. So is it a win for them? I guess, but will it cause more inflation and stuff? Maybe. I could see it doing that, but who knows, right? We'll let it play out. We'll see what happens. If it does cause more inflation, people are going to be livid and might actually point to this as a reason why. But this strike only lasted for 2 days, didn't shut down everything. People were going crazy, thinking it's going to be terrible, had to buy out everything in the stores, and now 2 days later, all of a sudden, do you need what you bought, right? That's the question. And the big thing out of this is probably that the company looks at this and says, these guys are a headache, let's try and automate as fast as possible, and then they can strike all they want. I think that that's probably going to be the next step, right? Should they do that? Don't know. Depends. Everyone's got their own opinion, right? But everything's getting automated. So these guys, everyone's trying to protect themselves from automation, but it's coming, right? Everyone's job is at risk. It really doesn't matter what you do. There's something that could come by and automate it through. Other jobs are going to be more difficult to do than some, and there might take more time to figure it out. But it does seem like this is something happening. AI is here. The stuff's going on. Like, it's just, the ball's rolling. We can't stop it. We've opened Pandora's box. It's here to stay. So these guys, even though they are fighting against it, have a contract that the company's probably going to just break and continue to try and automate, especially after this strike, right? But everyone's at stake, and there's an example of this with Chipotle here. They have an augmented make line that is going to be making the food for you. So you can have one worker just make this, put it in this machine stuff, makes all the food for you. You can see going down the line here, adds rice, adds all the ingredients you want. Then it pops out the end here as a finished product. You put a top on it and you can serve it to the person. So this automation thing's coming, right? It's coming for everyone. I think this is like the service industry is going to be the one that starts everything, right? It's probably the easiest, getting a machine like this to just kind of put food together, and then you just lower your head count, right? For what would have been maybe a few people that would do this and work down the line and get people's orders done. Maybe now you only need one or two people to do that, to finish the order at the end, take someone's order and finish the order, right? So it's just, the automation's coming, and no matter what you want to do and want to protect yourself, and everyone wants to do that, I think it's just going to be an adaptive period. Because at the end of the day, innovation like this stuff always is met with criticism and critiques that it's going to cripple things and going to throw people out of jobs and going to make people useless. When the internet started, that's what everyone said, right? Everyone said this is going to be devastating because it's going to replace so many people's jobs. It's going to be so much more effective. And the reality was, it did replace people's jobs, but it created new ones, right? So AI, it's harder to see how it does that, but it was hard to see how the internet would do that too. So I want to lean on being more optimistic, looking out and saying, I think we'll figure out how to add this as a way to make things easier for people to do stuff, and maybe focus on more important things to do than the menial things. But there is a negative to it. There is a chance that it doesn't go well, and it might go too well. It might go well for like employers and stuff, right? Where it can just straight up replace people, and then you don't even need someone to work on something more important. You can just have a automated thing do it for them. So I want to be more optimistic and say we'll figure it out. We'll figure out a way to have people still involved and being focused on more important things, and the menial things pushed to automation. I would want to see that, right? Nobody wants to see an entire industry just get replaced and people who have jobs and depend on that income just get thrown out and say, good luck, have fun. But I guess we'll see what the future holds. One of the biggest strikes ever is over, only lasted a couple days, and automation is coming for everyone's job. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.